Well, good morning, gang. It is a beautiful Sunday morning here in Massachusetts. It's 73 degrees outside, sunny, barely a cloud in the sky, leaves all over the place, but I'm feeling caught up. I took yesterday to get a whole bunch of stuff done around the house. We mowed the lawn, we did all the things that I needed to do and get done so that I can feel like I can spend some time on the car today. And I'm happy. So now we get to dedicate today to the Camaro. And I'm not making any promises now. I've learned my lesson. We spent the last couple of weekends going hard at this thing. Each weekend me saying, it's gonna run by the end of the weekend. No more predicting the future. I just got things I gotta work on in this thing, and I'll tell you about what those are, and we'll take you through them. As we're working on them, we'll see what we can get done. But for now, first thing I gotta do is clean this place up, because I've been working in a mad thrash mode for the last couple of weekends in here, and everything's just a mess. I got parts and pieces and tools everywhere. That's an insane way to work. I gotta clean up. So that's next on the list. I'm gonna clean up. All right, we're back. Cleaning's done, and Declan's now joined. So we've got a list of things that we've got to do on this car today, or a list of things that I'm hoping to do on this car today. The first one that I'm hoping to tackle is the oil leak. So I'll take you guys under when I do that, but I think it's just the seal around the oil pan that I need to seal up, because I never put gasket sealer between that seal and the timing cover, which is probably a mistake on my end, because that's exactly where it's leaking. So I'll hopefully be able to just drop the oil pan enough to make that happen without having to pull the engine up or anything. So I'll take on that piece, film as much of that as I can in that cramped area. I'm hoping Declan, while I'm doing that, can change out the alternator, which is not a Herculean task, and I can guide him through that to do. He's also got to be able to replace the mirror in the car, so we have to mark that out for where that's going to land, and he's got to glue that into place with the little button that has to go in there. So we've got to get that all set up. I've got a new belt that we need to put on it, and I've got to be able to get those fans working. And I think I might have figured out what the issue is with those, and that was actually thanks to a comment. I think if this works, I'll reveal if that was true. So let's get cracking, huh?
All right.
Enthusiasm.
No.
Yeah.
Not for this.
Yeah. Declan's jumping right in with the mirror. It's one of the important things that we need to get installed in order to make sure this thing is going to pass safety inspection. To be able to see behind you when you're driving the car. So, reminder, when we got the car, it did not have a rearview mirror in it, and the button for mounting the rearview mirror was not there. So one of the things that we need to do now is figure out where that button's supposed to mount so that we can glue it in place. We did buy the little kit from Permatex that glues that button to the windshield, but we got to figure out where that goes. Is that like a mark on the windshield from where it was?
What?
That like, yeah. What is that?
That's on the outside.
Is that on the outside?
Yeah.
All right, let's look at see if we got a manual that marks out where that might have been. For those of you guys who wouldn't normally buy service manuals or spend, I think we spent $80 or something like that on these service manuals. I spent $80 on them, whatever. But trying to find the position for this rear view mirror mount, we got it here. So we're in the stationary glass section of volume 2 of the service manual. And bonded rear view mirror support, the install or connect. This is giving us determine rear view mirror support position on the windshield. It needs to be 27 1/8 inches from the base of the glass to base of support. Mark the location on the outside of the glass with a wax pencil or crayon. Also make larger diameter circle around the mirror to support the outside of the glass surface. Even has a figure drawing to refer to it. And so that's what we're going to do. So that's actually pretty cool. So sometimes it's worth it to have this stuff. So that's what we're going to go off of. At least that gets us close. I don't really care about this thing being dead on accurate, but close is good because otherwise we were just going to have to guess. Why don't you hand me the dash? We'll slide that out, get it out of the way. We're going to have the dash out of this to change the heater core out anyway, so. 27 1/8 inch up from the base of the glass to the base of that button is where you want to be. So, and that's going to be in the dead center of the glass. So what I would say you want to do is use your measuring tape to find the center of the glass, the center of the windshield, left to right. And then once you find that out, then you can find the center. From the middle of the glass, you can go up to find 27 1/8 inches up. So the first job here is to find where you're going to be placing that button. You want to mark that area out with the tape. We're not going to use a crayon, we'll use the tape. Does that make sense?
Sure.
It's not fun.
Where do I go from?
It's not glamorous.
Like, how do I know what the middle is?
So what I would do...
Is it eyeballing it?
No. So you can do it one of two ways. Here's what I would look at. If it's awkward to do it inside, you could do it outside. So let me show you how. So if we're measuring right across where the black meets the glass, where the black meets the clear.
I can't really see that. Oh, yeah, okay.
You see what I'm talking about? Yeah. So you got your tape against the rubber.
Yeah.
Okay. And I see 47 1/4. So what's half of 47 1/4?
Yeah.
All right, and we said 23 5/8. That's 23 5/8. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll do the same thing at the base. You guys have all hated this as much as Declan and I have. And thanks to comments, you led me to looking this thing up. We're just going to remove this battery. That's it.
Ah.
And then allegedly, if we take it out and then just restart this thing without it, we should get rid of the beep. It from 2013. I guess we could replace this thing maybe, but for now, we're leaving it out. And now we power cycle it.
Is that Motorola symbol?
Let's see if that does the trick. Yes. This is the bane of our existence, the cause of the beeping. That really doesn't matter to us because this thing is an old school landline cable deal, as well as internet. We only use it for the internet. We don't have TV or landline. And the only thing this really does with the battery backup is keep your landline functioning so you can call 911. And so that's what it's beeping for. And since we don't have a landline, I don't need to pay money for a backup battery. So if this stops the beeping, our job is done. So we'll see.
It seems like.
We'll find out. Allegedly, when you plug this thing back in without the battery
Now
attached
there's
to
a
it at
replaced
all.
battery light.
Yeah, but it's not sensing there's a battery there at all, so it's not telling you need to replace the battery that's there. It's just telling you there is no battery. So I don't know. We'll see. If a beep happens partway through this video, then I'll start cursing and I'll have to bleep that out. And maybe I'll use that beep sound to be the bleeper, to bleep out the swearing.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen.
So you're going to replace the alternator. The alternator basically is what helps to recharge the battery while you're running.
Okay.
So while you're running the car, this thing is spinning, and that is sending current back to the battery, helping to recharge the battery and sort of running the electrical system on the car when it's going. When this goes, it no longer recharges the battery or doesn't do it sufficiently, and your battery's going to go dead. And you'll eventually realize that the battery's not charging up, and eventually the battery just either dies, or you'll just notice that it won't start anymore. So we're going to replace this. I think it may have died a little prematurely because it was these fans were hitting on the bracket when we had it installed, when I had it installed incorrectly the first time we started it up. So that may have killed it early. I don't know for sure. It's definitely old anyway, so it's fine to replace it. So 2 bolts, this one here, Torx head bolts. So just a ratchet and the right Torx head bolt, and these will come out. You do have this little threaded piece in the back here. So that's a little electrical connection that'll have to come off, but easier to get that off once you've actually removed this. Once you get the bolts out, because you can get a little bit of room. Okay? So I'll let you get to that. I think it's like a 35 Torx head. Let me first start to drain the oil out of this thing, and then while that's happening, I'll try to tell you what's going on. Worth noting, I just spent some time cleaning the snot out of this drain pan, because this is brand new oil. It's only running the car for what? It's only running the car for like 15 minutes. So I don't see any need to replace it. So I'm trying to keep it as clean as humanly possible. So I figure if we drain this into a nice clean pan, we've got a good shot at being able to recycle this oil and pour it back in. So that's what we're doing. All right, so next steps. What I'm trying to do here is drain the oil out of this pan so that I can drop the oil pan. Now, obviously, we've got cross members in place. I've got exhaust here. We've got a lot of things in the way of this oil pan. So I'm not going to be able to drop it entirely. All I'm really hoping is that I can drop it enough so that I can get to this gasket a little bit and be able to seal it against a timing chain cover. So that's going to be the MO today and the big task to get through here. Hopefully it's not going to be a nightmare, but you guys know how this goes. It's probably going to be a nightmare. It's probably going to be chaos. All right, so I'm going to try to show you as best I can where this leak is coming from. It's right where that cover meets the seal. And it really seems to be on the cover side as opposed to the oil pan side. That's where it seems to be leaking out. So I'm hoping that I don't have to take the cover off because that would be a bigger pain in the neck, but we'll see. So that's what we're after now. Not sure how great you guys can see this. I'm trying to shine a light directly in it, but it ain't easy. So it's certainly looking like our gasket is not sealing well against this timing chain cover. And that's causing us problems. You do not want to mar up this gasket. These gaskets rarely go bad on their own. What I want to try to do here is clean this up as much as possible so I can jam some ultra gray Permatex in there. Alright, so you guys should be able to see here now. We've got a nice seal. It ain't pretty. Is this the right thing to do? Is this the perfect solution? No. But is it going to get us where we need to be right now and keep me from dismantling everything and taking everything apart? Yes. So I'm happy to do it this way, even though it's not perfect. So hopefully this is going to solve our issue. It was also a gigantic pain in the neck to do. Getting to all these screws to drop that pan, even just, you know, the ½ an inch we needed to drop it to get this done. It sucked, including having to drop the starter in order to get this, which, you know, the starter can't drop either. That's a new finding, that with the Y pipe installed, the only thing I can do is sort of move the starter, but I'll have to remove the Y pipe when I do need to replace that starter. So that's a helpful thing to know. I also sort of remarked the mark on the dampener here. So we highlighted that silver a little bit just to make that a little bit more visible while I was under here. So that is all. And now I'm going to see if I can do a little testing on the fans. So the other issue that we've had that I want to try to take care of whilst I'm down here is with the fans. Cannot get these suckers to work. And that's a problem. Can't get the fans to work, then I can't get the car to stay cool. I need a screwdriver. Like I was saying, if I can't get the fans to work, can't get it to stay cool, so can't drive it that way. So I thought I had the fans relay wired right, but I think I might not. So what I'm going to do is give the fans directly here a little test. And the way I'm doing that is with my little Milwaukee 12 volt. So 12 volts is what actually normally runs the fan system. So that should be enough voltage to get it going. And I bought this little cap system off some guy online, I think on Amazon. It's a little 3D printed drawer that sort of accepts the battery. And then it's got some wiring in it to be able to use it as a test probe. So we're gonna run this right to this and figure out, can we get the fans to run? Fans work. Okay. So what that tells me is that I have a relay wiring problem, and I think I might know what that is. So I think the problem that I had with the relay is how I wired it. So I wired the relay to try to stay on whenever the key is on. And I think I may have made one pretty crucial mistake, and that is the wire that comes out of the ECM, or the wire that would have originally come out of the ECM. I assumed that that wire should have had power coming to it in order to complete the relay. I think, based on what some folks are telling me online, that maybe that should be grounded when it comes through the relay instead of powered. So I'm going to try that real quick. And see if that does it, because everything else should be right on there. That's the only thing I can think of that has it off. So we'll check that out and see if that works. And then we still have to get the fitting for the alternator correct. We've got to put the oil back in from the pan. And then I'd like to see if we can change the heater core. Because we need to either change the heater core or change the hosing before we can start this up, because it'll just pump antifreeze right into your cabin otherwise. So we don't want to do that. No. All right, let's see if I can take a look at this relay wiring and get it straight. This should be easy to test, because I just have to cut this away from what would have been power. We'll strip this back to get ourselves to some clean wire. Run an alligator clip to the test end. Run an alligator clip to the ground. Now when we hook up the battery, if the fans come on when we turn the power switch on, then we know we got it right. All right, Declan, you want to put the key in the on position?
Is the battery?
Yes, battery's connected. Yes, yes, yes! Yes, yes! All right, turn it off. On the surface to you guys, this may seem like a really stupid thing to celebrate, but this was plaguing me, this stupid wiring. So I was really happy to get it done. And shout out to subscriber Michael Caputo for turning me on to my simple misunderstanding. He saved me a ton of time. Now, it was on to working on the heater core, which Declan jumped into with both feet. You're going to see him on his phone a lot in this clip. Trust me, he's not Instagramming or scrolling through anything. He's actually checking out YouTube videos on how to remove this heater core. He really kind of took charge of this one himself. So that's what you're seeing him doing, is looking up videos on how to do this job.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a stand.
Alright, so Declan's removing the heater core, old one, from the backer. So the backer is what actually attaches inside the box underneath the dash. So he's going to get the old one off of that, remove the bracket straps so that we can mount the new one, which is this aluminum contraption instead of the brass.
I thought this was the new one.
I would not say this was fun to get out of there, but it wasn't the nightmare that I was suspecting it would be.
They don't wanna see me make it, they don't wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up, cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down, they wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt, they're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like
This is an important one while Declan gets the dash back in place. It's the temp sensor. This is going to make a mess. So what I had in here inadvertently was the temperature sensing unit as opposed to the temperature sending unit. And the problem with that is that this is the unit that is supposed to go to the ECM, so it's not designed to go to the dash gauge, and that's what I was looking for, was what goes to the dash gauge. So I got a replacement, cheap enough, easy enough. Now we just got to replace it. Spillage. And spill is what I was trying to be careful of. Head's all full of antifreeze because we had this thing filled up to run. So it just wanted to run right out of there. We've been accused by some of not giving proper fanfare here for the car starting and its fire up. So let's do the fanfare. All right.
Wait, show me how long to do the thing, because I've never.
To do what thing? To start it?
Yeah, because I've never started.
So
I just pushed the button.
yeah, so you want to stop on the starter once it catches and is running. So once you can hear it running, you can lay off the starter. So you want to watch me for it? Listen.
I mean, this should be like instant.
No, you're going to hear it like rrr, 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 and then it's going to be rum. So apologies to the few commenters who were saying Declan was riding the starter last time. I actually didn't really hear it in real time. It was only when I went back and listened to the actual audio that I could hear that he was riding it a little bit. Quite frankly, in real time, when I was sitting there, all I was hearing was ultimately what ended up being that alternator fan scraping against the bracket, so I couldn't even hear him riding the starter. So we got that straightened out. The next thing I wanted to do here was make sure that I was testing that alternator to make sure that it was in fact feeding voltage back into the battery. The gauge on the dash said it was, and so did my voltage meter. So that checked out. Alternator's working again, which thankfully for me just confirms that my wiring was correct. It was in fact the alternator that was bad. Then I wanted to make sure that our timing was set okay. The hold down bracket for the distributor was a little bit off last time, so the distributor was squirrely when turning on its own. So I had to reset that. In the process of doing that, obviously the distributor moved a little bit. So I wanted to make sure that the timing, at least from a base level, was reasonable and get that squared away. And now is the part where I really have to apologize, because even though I have a tremendous camera that I shoot most of this footage with, it's really not intended for shooting video and shooting YouTube videos in particular. And it squirreled out on me, man. So the intention was to capture video of us rolling this thing out of the garage, and we were pressed for time because I realized around this time that this thing still had its oil leak. That bummed me out hard, but I really wanted to get this thing rolling and down the road so we could see if we had any more rolling problems with it. And because it was leaking oil so bad, I just wanted to move fast and get this thing out the door quickly. So I didn't have time to double check and mess with cameras. Fortunately, my wife saved the day with a little bit of video footage of the car coming down the road, but this is all we got. We did it. Maiden voyage. Yeah?
I guess.
Can
we count it?
So we got a bunch of stuff accomplished today that we needed to. I got under and tried to fix that oil leak. More on that in a second. We did replace the alternator. That is now charging. We did replace the belt, and we replaced the belt tensioner. Those are both good to go. And those are both fine. Replaced the temp sender unit. Replaced the sensor unit with the sender unit. That now appears to be working, but it's reading really high. So we're gonna just go and double check this now. And put the gun on it and see if it really is that warm. Fans are now working. They're running all the time. As long as the key is on it in the car. So that seems to be working, and that's good. So I wanted to have us jump in the car real quick and just take it for a quick cruise before it gets too late here in the day. So we did. We just drove down into the street. The transmission is not transmissilating. So it's really cruddy. Can't really tell exactly what's going wrong. It's not shifting well out of gears. It did not want to shift into park when I brought it back in here. In fact, I'm still not convinced it's actually in park now. So I'm going to have to check that out. I don't know whether we have...
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether we still have some play or some wonkiness in that cable, or whether we're just low on fluid, or maybe it's both. But we'll check that out. So the good news is it does have brakes. It stops. They're not crazy. It would be nice if they were a little bit stronger, a little bit firmer pedal, but we can work on that. Otherwise, it seems to be running with his power steering. Awful, just like not there. So I think we may have a bad pump there, so we may have to replace that power steering pump before too long, because you're going to have Popeye arms before too long if you have to drive it like that. So yeah, but quick down the end of the street, Maiden voyage. There's still stuff up with it. But the kind of stuff that I can maybe fool around with at night during the week. I think the major, big stuff, oh my God, how are we going to get that done stuff, I think is done.
Hopefully.
And I think now it's just we got to needle these things off the list. That big oil leak, I've got to fix that. I got to figure out how to stop that. And that may just be overdoing it with gasket sealing now. But I got to figure out how to get that thing stopped from leaking because it's really just not drivable if it's leaking oil that bad. And we got to fix the transmission and make sure that that's shifting properly. those two things get fixed, I'm cool with you driving this.
Okay.
So that's it, and then it's time to clean it.
Okay.
So, how are you feeling?
I don't know yet. Because you say these things where it's like, oh, we could just fix it, and it's like, oh, I don't trust you.
Yeah, there's always something. There's always going to be something that's up with this. To me, the thing is, you're going to look at the stuff that's something that's going to literally stop us from driving, or stuff that's going to just be an inconvenience that we have to deal with. And right now, the transmission not shifting right and the oil leaking those are literally things you can't drive it like that. But you could drive it with the power steering wheel not working right. It's annoying, but you can drive it.
Right.
So things like that, you can drive it without it being perfect. So it's, to me, this is like scary close now.
Okay.
We're there. So I would say you can start doing some cleaning on this thing to get it spick and span and ready to go.
I would do it too. Yeah. Because like the seats have looks like grease stain on them from them.
I know, yeah, we got those seats a little bit dirty from doing work. We probably put them on too soon, but all right. Well, guys, as always, thanks for watching. Really, thanks for watching, because since we got this thing running, the views have been going nuts on the channel. So thank you very much for watching and tuning in and seeing this thing getting going. More coming soon. So we keep on making progress on this thing. He will be driving it to school as fast as I can possibly make that happen, because I have to drive him to school until this thing is running for him. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. It does help us a great deal. And we will see you soon. Until then, keep throwing wrenches.